All right, let's dive right in. Today, we're going to tackle one of the most frustrating parts of building AI applications, all the tedious, repetitive code. If you've ever felt like you're spending more time on the plumbing than the actual AI, then you're in for a treat. We're going to explore a tool called n8n that lets you build incredibly powerful AI workflows visually.
I'm sure you know this feeling, right? You get this amazing idea for an AI app, but then you sit down to build it and suddenly you realize 90% of your time is just plumbing. You're wrestling with API calls, juggling credentials, handling error retries. It's exhausting. What if you could just skip all that and focus on what actually matters, the AI logic itself?
Well, that's the exact problem n8n was built to solve. At its core, it's an open-source workflow platform. But I love this description. Think of it as a programmable glue layer. It's designed to let you visually connect all the different pieces, your APIs, your databases, your AI models, and make them work together seamlessly. No more fighting with the plumbing. So here's our game plan for today. First, we'll talk about why this is such a big deal. Then we'll get into the absolute basics, the core building blocks of n8n. After that, we get to the really fun part, the dedicated AI toolkit. Then we'll see how it all comes together with some real-world examples. And I promise by the end, I'll show you how you can get started yourself in literally minutes.
Okay, first up, why automate AI? Let's really dig into this plumbing problem and understand why a visual approach is becoming pretty much essential if you want to build practical AI applications without tearing your hair out.
So what makes n8n special for AI? Well, sure, it has a slick visual builder and over 400 integrations, which is great. But the real magic is that it's not just a generic tool. It has native, first-class support for AI agents and LLMs. It works with all the models you'd expect, OpenAI, Anthropic, Mistral, you name it. It has built-in connectors for vector databases, which are crucial for RAG. And maybe the biggest one for many of us, you can self-host it, giving you complete control over your data.
It helps to know where n8n fits in, right? So if you're thinking about tools like Zapier or Make, n8n goes so much deeper on the AI side. We're talking native agents, persistent memory, and the ability for the AI to use tools. On the other hand, if you look at code-heavy libraries like LangChain, n8n's advantage is speed. It's visual first, which means you can prototype and build things incredibly fast without having to be a Python wizard.
All right, let's get into the fundamentals. Before we build the skyscraper, we have to pour the foundation. Understanding these next few core concepts is absolutely the key to unlocking everything else we're going to talk about.
Everything, and I mean everything in n8n is built from something called nodes. The best way to think of them is like Lego blocks. Each node is just one single step. It gets some data, does one specific thing, maybe it calls an API or runs a model, and then it passes its results on to the next Lego block in the chain. Simple as that.
And these nodes come in a few different flavors. You've got trigger nodes that kick off your workflow, maybe a webhook or a schedule. You've got these super powerful AI nodes, which we'll get to in a sec. You have logic nodes for things like if-then statements or loops. And of course, data nodes to slice, dice, and transform your data as it moves along.
Okay, now lean in for this one, because this is probably the most important technical concept to grasp. Data doesn't just flow randomly between nodes. It moves in a very specific structure, as an array of JSON items. Every single node gets this array as input and passes a new one as output. Once you get that, you can use these simple expressions, like you see here, to pluck out any piece of data from any previous step. This is the secret to making all the nodes talk to each other.
All right, now for the main event, the dedicated AI toolkit. This is the real powerhouse of n8n, the collection of specialized nodes that lets you go from simple automations to building truly sophisticated AI agents.
And the heart of this toolkit is the AI agent node. This thing is the brain of your entire operation. It takes a standard language model and gives it the ability to actually reason, to make plans, and, this is huge, to use tools to interact with the world. You just configure what model you want, give it some memory, hand it a few tools, and then shape its personality with a system prompt. And the best part is, you are not locked into any single model provider. The agent node can plug into a whole range of different chat model nodes. You want to use GPT-4o? Go for it. Prefer Claude? No problem. Want to use Gemini or even a local model like Llama 3 running through a Llama? It's all there, ready to go. So what makes a chatbot feel like you're actually having a conversation? It's memory. Without it, the AI has no idea what you just said 2 seconds ago. n8n gives you a bunch of options here, from simple memory that just remembers the last few messages, all the way up to powerful database-backed memory that can keep a conversation going across days or even weeks.
Now this is where your agent gets its superpowers. Tools are what connect the AI to the real world. You can give it a tool to search the web for up-to-the-minute information. You can give it a tool to call literally any API, a tool to search your own private documents. You can even give it a tool that lets it trigger a different n8n workflow. The agent then gets to intelligently decide which tool it needs to use to answer the user's question. It's awesome.
And for that RAG capability we talked about, searching your own documents, you need a vector store. This is basically the long-term memory for your knowledge base. n8n plays nice with all the big ones, whether you want an easy-to-use managed service like Pinecone or you want to self-host a high-performance database like Qdrant, you have total flexibility.
Okay, we've seen all the individual Lego blocks. That's the theory. Now let's see how they snap together to build some incredibly powerful real-world applications. This is where it all starts to click. Let's build the most popular pattern out there right now, a RAG chatbot that can answer questions based on your own private documents. Step 1 is a one-time process, ingestion. You build a simple workflow that loads your files, splits them into smaller chunks, turns those chunks into embeddings, and then stuffs them into your vector database. It's a clean, logical pipeline. Now for step 2, the live query flow. This is what happens every time a user asks a question. It comes in through a webhook. It gets passed to our AI agent. The agent uses its special vector store retriever tool to find the most relevant snippets from the database. And then, finally, the agent uses that specific context to generate a smart, accurate, and evidence-based answer. And this right here, this quote, is the absolute magic of RAG. This is why we do it. Because when you do this, the AI cites real content rather than guessing. You're grounding it in facts. You're giving it a source of truth. And that just crushes the hallucination problem. It makes people actually trust the answers they're getting. But it's not just about chatbots. Check this out, an AI email assistant. A new email comes into Gmail. The AI agent instantly classifies it. Is it a sales lead, a support ticket, or just spam? And then drafts a reply. An if node checks if it's spam. If it's not, a Gmail node saves that reply as a draft for a human to quickly review, and a Slack node pings the team to let them know. That's automation that actually helps your team, not just replaces them.
So you've seen what's possible. You've seen the building blocks. Now, for the most important part, your turn. How can you actually get your hands on this and start building your own AI agents right now?
Well, getting n8n running is surprisingly easy. You've got a few options, like a global install or using Docker for a production setup. But honestly, the fastest way to just try it out, the one I want you to focus on, is that first option. You don't have to install a single thing. You just open up your terminal, type this one little command, npx n8n, and hit enter. That's it. Seriously. It will download the latest version, run it locally, and pop open the workflow editor right in your browser. You can go from zero to building your first workflow in under 60 seconds.
And that's a wrap. We've covered the core concepts, we've seen the powerful AI toolkit, and we've walked through some real-world patterns. So really, the only question left is the one you see on the screen. What will your first AI agent do? Thanks for watching.